Hello, everybody. You have tuned in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers with the Indianapolis District 52 Public Information Office, and we welcome you to our roadshow. We welcome you all to that are watching us on YouTube, something new to us that we're trying out and seeing how this works out. This is our second show from the roadshow, also being utilizing YouTube. So welcome. We want to thank the Indiana State Police Alliance for their continued support of the roadshow, and the Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance, who help us out with this. And today I have an old guest with me who was kind of boonswaggled into coming in here and not told that he was going to be on camera. Nathan, thank you for coming in again today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm always happy to be here.
Nathan Riggs, Public Information Officer with NDOT, was kind enough to come in here. And like I said, I think I might have failed to tell you that you were going to be on YouTube, didn't I?
It wasn't mentioned, but still, I'm happy to be here. It
wasn't in the pamphlet, was it?
It wasn't in the memo.
But we're glad to have you here, and we appreciate you being here. We're going to talk about something totally new the Indiana Department of Transportation is doing. And I found it very intriguing. I didn't know this went on throughout the years, but apparently this has been done before. But we're hoping to help NDOT out to get some money for a foundation. But you were telling me, Nathan, when we were off camera here a while ago, projects, if you think that they're special projects, very good projects, you submit them for some national awards.
That's right. It's AASHTO. It's the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. From here on out, I'll just call it AASHTO.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier.
They've got a national competition. Basically, they solicit state transportation organizations like NDOT, the Indiana Department of Transportation,
right,
to put forth their best projects of the year. And we think we've got a good project with the South Split project last year, where we shut down I-65 and I-70 downtown.
Now, is this a nationwide? They go nationwide and ask for projects?
This is all across the country, and I think this year they have 36 or 37 different states. So most of the states do participate, and I think they had 70-something different submittals. Or
can you submit more than one project per year?
Yes, there's different categories you can submit a project for, and there's different criteria for each of them. We submitted the South Split project under the Best Use of Innovation category.
There you go.
We did some innovative things with the design, with the bidding process.
With the speed?
With the speed. Well, that kind of goes into the bidding process. We did what's called an A+B type bid, where we bid not only the construction cost, which is typical of our projects, but we also threw in the closure period. And we put in a dollar amount per closure day and allowed the contractors to bid not only on how much is it going to cost to build this, but how quickly can you do it.
Right.
So that's a technique that we use to minimize. The first estimates were 90 days of closure. And Milestone won with a 59-day closure bid, and they ended up beating that by about 2 weeks and only closed the interstate for 44 days. So we really pushed to get that work done as quickly as possible.
Do other states do that a lot?
I can't say for sure. I don't work closely with the other states, but it's not unheard of. It's a technique that is used, especially in areas where you've got high traffic counts, high profile. It's just a way of getting the work done as quickly as really the contractor can get the work done.
Yeah. So they're motivated to work all hours, days, nights to get it done, and anything they get done quicker is going to help them out.
Yeah,
I mean, help us out too.
Time is money to the contractor.
Exactly.
And typically we leave it up to them as far as how many crews are you going to allocate to a project. It might not benefit them to have crews working 24/7. So by doing this A+B type bidding, you really get them to push their maximum of making it most efficient as possible. You
mentioned before the Allisonville project. How far did that make that? When you guys submitted it, how far did it go up the chain?
The A+B type bidding?
Well, no, when you submitted it for the award.
Oh, I see. Yes. Last year we did submit the Allisonville Road Bridge project. If people can remember that far back, we did close Allisonville Road across 465.
Oh, I'm sure they remember it up there.
And I'm sure. Well, we live in a fast-paced world, and 2 years is a long time. But yes, that was a big inconvenience to a lot of people. But we did close Allisonville across 465 so that we could reconstruct that interchange. Now we have a single point up there. We got rid of the traffic signals, so it does help with the traffic flow coming off of I-465, and we're not getting that back up across the bridge like we used to see. That then would spread, down to 82nd Street and up to 96th Street. But that contest we also submitted to the same, or that project we submitted to the same contest, and it also made it to the top 10. We didn't win, but that's why we're pushing extra hard this year. We think we've got a better project. And,
did you submit it in the same category?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay.
But it was a similar type of Well, and one of the categories is the People's Choice Award, which is what people can vote for. There will be a selected winner. A group of experts will select their favorite, but then we let the people decide.
So are there two different prizes for each one of those? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
There will be two winners. Each one of those winners is eligible to receive a donation on behalf of the winning state to their charity of choice of up to $10,000. So there will be two of those prizes.
So that's kind of why we're here today, to try to get the word out about this, hopefully help this new foundation that you want to talk about. Well,
the foundation has been around for a few years. It's the Indiana State Transportation Workers Foundation. Okay. Basically, it's a foundation that was set up by INDOT employees. It was an idea that they had for just an extra way of contributing to the families and the workers of the Indiana Department of Transportation, for those workers who are either injured or killed in the line of duty, working on the roadways, doing their job. Unfortunately, sometimes it does mean putting themselves at risk, being so close to traffic, machinery, things like that. So we do have a better track record of safety. We are bringing those numbers down, but unfortunately, it still happens.
It's a dangerous job. It's a dangerous occupation.
Well, some jobs inherently, when you're working around traffic and machinery and things like that, you increase the probability of there being a mistake. But unfortunately, with the nature of some drivers out there not paying attention, speeding and things like that, they also put our workers at risk.
So if this has been submitted, where's it at now in the process?
We're in the top 10. We have been nominated for the top 10. So the voting is open. It opened this week, and the voting, I believe, runs through October 24th, so roughly the end of October. So there's plenty of time for people to go to the website.
Is that your website, or what website do they go to?
We will have a link from the INDOT website. That's indot.in.gov. We'll have a rotating banner there. So if it doesn't pop up at first, just wait. It'll come along. Okay. Click that, and that will take you directly to the AASHTO website, where you can check out the other projects, but I'll just let you know that the South Split is the best one, and you should just vote for it.
Now, can you vote more than once? Or
you can vote up to 10 times a day, actually. So if you really, really love the project, vote for it 10 times a day now through October 24th, every day.
When will this be announced?
The winner will be announced at a conference in well, you've got the press release. You can just read it there.
Well, I was reading here about the
at the national meeting. I believe it's in South Carolina this year, so it'll be shortly after the voting ends. They'll make that announcement at the national meeting.
Yeah, and the South, for information, more information on the South Split project, you can go to southsplit.in.gov. And that's going to tell you all about that project.
Yeah, if you want to learn about the South Split project last year, the interstate closure and what we were able to do in a really short amount of time. I'm not just patting myself on the back here, but we had a lot of people at INDOT, our contractors, our consultants, that really saw the sense of urgency that was needed to turn this project around as quickly as possible. And if you watch the videos, we put a camera on one of the bridges that was being struck. You can see why this project was needed, and some of those crashes or collisions are pretty dramatic. Yeah. So I would encourage checking out that video as well, which a link is at southsplit.in.gov.
And again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow and watching the Indiana State Police Roadshow right now. Brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I'm Sergeant Rich Myers with the Public Information Office at District 52. My guest is Nathan Riggs from the INDOT Public Information Office. Nathan, has that fixed the problem? Have you had any more bridge strikes?
We were able to raise the clearance of all the bridges, a minimum of at least 1 foot. All the bridges have a minimum clearance now of 15.1. Some have a higher clearance, but that's the minimum.
Right.
And really, if you look at there's basically a bell curve of bridge strikes when you look nationwide. Bridges higher than 15 feet, you see a great reduction in the number of strikes. And to date, we have had no documented strikes on any of the bridges in the South Split. So I'd say that project was not only successful in its delivery, but also in its results.
Great. That's wonderful because, like you said, it was pretty common down there.
It was getting more common, and we were starting to see some pretty scary strikes.
Yeah.
So something definitely had to be done.
I'm looking here what you were telling me. It looks like the November the 24th. Is that the date I'm looking at?
That sounds right.
It's going to be for the awards in November 23rd, pardon me. People's Choice Awards on November 23rd at the AASHTO annual meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. Will you have representatives there?
Well, if we win, I certainly hope so. If we don't win,
do they announce that beforehand prior? I mean, they'll let the states know.
Typically,
obviously.
that's the case. If we're going to be the winner, they usually let us know so that we can have a representative there.
That's going to be great. And a panel of experts are going to select the grand prize winner. Mm-hmm. Now, are those both $10,000 towards where they want it to go?
That's my understanding. So, so potentially there could be a higher prize if we could get both of those awards, which would be great.
That would be wonderful. And again, to go to the to vote for this, go to the NDOT website, and they'll have a link there that you can go and make your vote for the South Split project. Or there's nominate AmericansTransportationAwards.org.
Yeah, that's the long way. I don't know if people will remember that.
Yeah.
We're also on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll be definitely posting this on Facebook and Twitter quite regularly. So check out the Indiana Department of Transportation East Central pages on Twitter. That's _East Central. So check us out. We'll also be using the hashtag South Split. If social media is more convenient for you, check us out there. We'll be posting some information as well as links to vote.
And I'm sure they look at all facets of this project, but one thing that really caught my eye here as I was looking at the news release was you reduced the cost from $20 million to $12.4 million.
Sure. Well, the $20 million was the preliminary engineers' estimates, but that's still a good figure to go with. Originally, we were looking at spending $20 million on this project.
Yeah.
And, with the design, we used something called continually reinforced concrete, where we were able to shrink the profile of the concrete by throwing in some extra steel. Just doing things like that in A plus B type bidding, using private sector competition brought the price down.
Right.
And the final bid was $12.4 million. So that's a pretty substantial reduction.
Now, how far in advance do you have to have a project ready for this? And my question on that is, do you have anything in the works for next year that you're going to submit to this?
Well, we typically like to see how the project is delivered before we submit a nomination, and usually these projects are from the previous year, so we've got plenty of time. It's a little bit early to say for sure what we might be.
But this could be statewide. This is not just Marion County. This could be a
Absolutely.
project up in the region or southern Indiana or somewhere.
These are projects all over the state. We've had a couple of. US 31, we've got Kokomo and South Bend open now, so those might be potential submissions. So we'll just have to see what we have over the next year that might be better than that.
And that's been a time saver. I know I talked to somebody the other day coming down 31. They said they hit one traffic light.
It's fantastic. I drove from Michigan to my home just a couple of weeks ago, just right after South Bend opened up. And the entire way, I stopped at 2 traffic signals. And if you ask people who regularly drive US 31 historically, that would be impossible.
Well, we got about a minute and a half left. Let's review here what we need for people to do. And this is a hopefully to get money to the foundation, the NDOT Foundation, to let people know what they need to do for this South Zone project. To nominate for some money.
Right. It's the South Split project, especially people who commute into Indianapolis. Last year, I'm sure you were well inconvenienced by it, but hopefully
we done some news releases, and we had some people driving into our concrete. Remember that?
A couple people drove into the concrete. Unfortunately, that's people find a way to get where they want to go.
But if they need to go to NDOT site, and you guys will have a link there where they can vote.
NDOT.in.gov. There will be a link there to go to the AASHTO site where you can vote from there. Again, this is a prize we could win, $10,000. It'll go to the Indiana State Transportation Workers Foundation, and that is a foundation that gives money to NDOT workers who have been killed or injured in the line of duty. So these are our highway workers that are out there making better roads for you and I. that unfortunately sometimes get injured or killed.
Great cause, great cause. Well, again, you've been listening to The Road Show, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids. Thanks for listening. As always, buckle up and always make sure you keep those kids in the car seat. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.